My client James always says this: time in the market wins over timing the market. Let me repeat that for added effect. James say this, he's a client of mine. Time in the market wins over timing the market. This is crucial for you to understand. It's a challenge. It's very difficult for the first-time investor to understand. If you don't get this, you're losing and you're leaving yourself open to an enormous, ginormous, huge risk, okay? All right, guys, welcome back. If I can explain this to you, and while I'm explaining it to you, understand it myself as well, then I think I have succeeded today to get 90% of knowledge out to you, okay? Hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon if you find this useful, okay? Now, I said this, time in the market, which means entry into the market, is greater than timing the market, okay? So entry, get in, plus time is greater than timing, okay? What does this mean? You know how you always come to me and ask me, is this the right time to get into the market? Has the market already substantially gotten to a stage where it's too over bloated? Some people use the word bubble. When the market's really going downhill, then people come and say, look, has the market hit the bottom? Shall I get in now? Guys, listen, please, 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 please. Try to understand this analogy, and I'm going to give it to you as simple as I can for you to be able to benefit from this, okay? First time I heard this was from James, my client, who said time in the market will win over timing the market. He's told me many times that he heard it from somewhere else, but here's the scenario, okay? This is how the real estate market or a lot of other markets with value operate, okay? So when you're trying to say to me, hey, is it the right time to get in or get out? You're ideally trying to tell me that, let's take this one, okay? So it's a little bit bigger, okay? So this is the top of the market, this is the bottom of the market. This is the top of the market, this is the bottom of the market, okay? This is the bottom of the market, this is the top of the market. The thing most people want to do is they want to buy right here. They want to buy right here, okay? So that they can have a lot of time for the market to grow, okay? They want to sell right here, okay? And then they want to buy, actually nobody wants to buy here. Sorry, I made a little bit of a mistake here. People want to buy here, right? And then they want to sell here as the market's coming downwards. And then again, they want to buy here. Do you know what's the problem with this? The problem is that no human being, except for very few with extremely advanced mathematical formulas and quants, who are able to predict as best as close to accurately, which is not you and me right now. Therefore, no human being has a crystal ball. So no human being can actually easily predict this or this or this or this or this. We can make educated guesses, but the reality is the educated guess becomes more correct only after the fact, okay? So if somebody is making a very educated guess that the bottom was already hit, he's going to have to make that guess here when the market's already going up, okay? So now there's no way in you're going to be able to say if it's going up, or if you come here, you're going to start feeling, oh my God, it's already too far up. Same thing applies when the market starts coming down. Only when it's really coming down, you're going to be able to know that it's actually on its downward trend, right? So if you're continuously trying to time the market, you're going to continuously, in my opinion, keep missing the absolute bottom and the top, right? Because you've got short-term thinking. Now, maybe this is just me. So maybe I'm just going to always attract investors and clients who are able to think long-term, and day traders think short-term, and they are able to do well in short-term, so good for you, okay? So maybe if you're a short-termer or a short-termist, this video is not going to make any sense. In fact, you're going to disagree with me in the comment section. You say, Fahd, you're full of blue, and we disagree, and that's fine. But if you're a long-term, medium to long-term thinker, then it will make sense, because if you've got short-term thinking about tops and bottom, you're going to be losing out. But if you've got long-term thinking, that if you bought any property, let's say here, so let's say if you've got a grand vision, so you've got a grand vision of 50 years, okay, I'm going to say 50 years, and this only represents, let's say 7, 7, 7, 21. This only represents, let's say 20 to 30 years, and you bought a property, let's say, for example, even here, and then you went through cycles. Guess what? This property, I want to make it in red. This property, in let's say 30 years, okay, let's say even 20 years, okay, maybe 20 years is a real push. 20 years will be here. Okay, so you see the difference? And all throughout, you would have been gaining rental income. Now, if you're saying, no, bad Fahd, we could have been buying here, selling here, buying here, selling here, buying here, selling here, buying here, selling here, and buying here, selling here, and buying here, and we would have like tripled or quadrupled or septupled or 10 times our portfolio. Okay, best of wishes to you, right? But this is my opinion, and maybe I'm a millennial, so I think like this, that long-term vision wins over short-term planning, okay? Because with short-term planning, you're going to be continuously behind. You're going to be, in my opinion, okay, this is my opinion, because what if Dubai, think about this, guys, what if Dubai always did this, and they said, we will only add more airplanes when we get busy. Okay, so we'll only add more airplanes when we get busy. But when they get busy, they wouldn't be able to take up the extra traffic, because there'll be other airplanes and other airlines who will be taking up the extra traffic. What if Dubai said, we will only build roads when there are boom times, right? When things are very, very busy. But Dubai doesn't do that, UAE doesn't do that. They continue to build to anticipate more people coming in, right? Otherwise, they would be too slow, too behind, and that's not the way Dubai operates, right? Which is why, because they've got, actually they don't have a 50-year vision, they've got hundreds of years of vision and planning behind what they're doing and how they're doing, right? Now, I'll give you a few case studies. In 2008, if you had held on to your assets and you were not depressed or pressured to sell, today that asset would have given you 6 to 7 times in terms of value. Same thing happened in 2014, okay? I'm witness to this, okay? 2014, now I'm not saying that it was easy to hold on to assets, but in 2014, I saw somebody managing a 100 million dirham portfolio make a conscious effort and decision to actually sell, and move their properties and portfolios and investments into Europe, because they figured, the way that they were thinking was that if Dubai's recovered so well, Europe can't be far behind. But Europe's never really, I think, really truly recovered from the 2008 global financial crisis. Okay? This is my opinion. I could be wrong, right? If you like what I've said, hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. Like, share it with other people. If you disagree with me, put it in the comment section. I'm happy to hear from you. And if you'd like to buy a property in the Dubai market, enter with a short, not a short term, but a long term vision. There's a link below. Hit it, click it. Let's talk. Okay. In my opinion, again, guys, short termism is going to help you lose money. It's a very difficult proposition. Long term, 20 years only, you actually end up winning, okay? Because this delta right here can mean 5 times the value of what you invested. Be stable, be sensible, be calm. Things will come your way. Ciao for now.